I came here in 1976. We had 3 staff members, an adjunct from the communication department. We did 2 majors, one each semester and one during the summer. We also had 2 student studios sometimes. Over the years, that staff has multiplied. As our staff increased, we were able to provide more opportunities for our students. Our staff wanted to do more, have more productions, better types of productions. When John McElwee first came as costumer, he also had a directing background. I came here as a lighting and scenic designer, but always wanted to direct more. Those opportunities opened up more productions. So then we were doing 2 productions a semester. To help augment those productions, we needed volunteer students who were better prepared. I think when we first started doing acting lab, which was really just a volunteer 3 times a week afternoon lab that students were invited to participate. They weren't just doing 1 show a semester or just 1 show a year. They were working on their acting abilities every week, doing different things, different roles that they probably wouldn't be cast in, but allowed them to grow in their acting discipline. I think that was one of the major pushes for our productions to be successful and to allow us to choose productions that might have been out of our reach before this. We were able to be more adventurous with our productions and continue to add productions.
I had been involved in theater almost all my life. From my mother being head of a famed school, I got involved with the university theater after a very, very long break from being in that world, and joined just at a time when John McElwee came into the theater. And it became an incredibly important aspect of my college career because it allowed me to get involved with a very, very large university that seemed daunting at times. I continued on to invest in the theater, both from financial and from other aspects, because what we've seen out of the students that graduate theater programs or that go to theater programs and go on to graduate, the ability to communicate ideas, create creativity, is beyond what we see from students that just go and do their standard coursework. So we, especially within our professional career, see the theater as an extension to somebody's career. And without it, we see them unable to communicate, unable to socialize. With it, we see these people rising to the top. We see them become great communicators. We see them become great leaders. And though I can't say that I've had the top career in the world, I would say that without it, I wouldn't have had a career.
The building, the Thompson Theater, had been kind of rehashed several times, and it was in a sorry state or a lower state as far as theater was concerned, and it needed a lot of help, and especially with smaller theaters. And so these 2 smaller theaters that were designed, and with the plans that I looked at while early on the committee, I got more and more excited about how it could help NC State. So we went out and called on people and thought about what we could do personally, my wife and I, and decided to be, to kind of help lead the charge, so to speak. And it was a very fun endeavor, I'm very proud of it. It's a beautiful theater. The atrium is beautiful. The theaters are beautiful. I think it kicked up the program quite a bit and made it take itself more seriously in a way, and the planning for future shows, so forth, became based on additional things, which included the better theater and a new staff that was attracted in every area. So it's been a successful enterprise, and I would help again, you know, if called upon. Probably, I think I would. That's kind of the story. That's my story. I look for projects of different sorts. I mean, I helped Duke in athletics. I helped Duke in engineering. I helped State with mainly in the arts, and I helped Barton College with a library. I'm helping them with a rare book room. In fact, we just finished putting together a rare book room and a theater down there. And so, you know, it's kind of it's a fun thing to do. It's something I enjoy doing.
Lynn and I met doing Theater Fest in 1996 during Jerry's Girls. He was my assistant stage manager and I was the production stage manager. And we started dating, and about a year later we got engaged, and 2 years later we got married at the theater on main stage. And everybody was there, and it's been a big part of our life, of our process of doing theater for many, many years, and we keep coming back.
The part that she actually doesn't remember is that we met at a show prior to that. Her being a stage manager and me being a stage manager of a different show, apparently I was making too much noise backstage, and she came to tell me that. Came all the way upstairs where I was looking through some storage stuff to tell me that I was interrupting her rehearsal.
You were.
But she never mentions that story. That's
Yeah,
how we
because
met.
that's not important. We met by you being my
Oh no, that's
ASM.
important.
It is because before the show started, you called me on stage before we opened house and gave me a dozen red roses.
Yes, we did do that.
It was very sweet.
So it wasn't just for me, but yes.
No, it was from all the crew, but you gave it to me.
Show them the picture.
Oh, show them the picture. Okay. This is us.
In front of Old Thompson Theater.
Where we got married on the old main stage with the old stage, the old lighting. It was awesome.
So that picture was taken after she had locked up the theater.
We left. Everybody else had left, and then we got to leave. So, but we still come back. You haven't done a show in a while, but I've come back almost every year and done shows. I do Theater Fest every year, and the best thing about it is I get to meet new kids every year that come through the program, and I get to follow them as they leave the university and go on to bigger and better things.
And I get to come back and watch shows.
And hopefully in the years to come, both of our kids will get to go through the program as well. So, and those are our two best productions.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, I'm John McElwee, the current director of University Theater, and I'm here with our newest director, the director who is going to be presenting this production of Antigone, Burial at Thebes, for our 50th anniversary celebration. Mia Self just came to us, and this is your first production with University Theater, and it's a very special one. So, what are you bringing that's different to this translation of Antigone?
Oh, other than a hefty dose of fear, jumping in with a 50th anniversary celebration, so high stakes. A strange history with the Antigone story. It's a classic play that has been done by lots and lots of people in the last 2,400 years. And it was a piece that I didn't really understand why people liked for a long time, because I thought she was kind of whiny. And I had a philosophy professor friend who was teaching with it several years back, and I went back in and read the whole Oedipus cycle and the Aeschylus play, Seven Against Thebes, connected to this, and looked at this whole mythology of the House of Cadmus and this family that was beset by so much tragedy. And really kind of fell in love with the character at that point in time, because from the age of 10 on, she leads her blind father out of Thebes and into Athens, and comes back and rages against the system to bury her brother. And so that sense of context is really important to me, and a lot of time thinking about why is it people are still so connected with the story has been very much on my mind. And so when I look at the news and I see stories about Ferguson or events in Florida, or looking at debates about what's happening in Gaza, and the rights of the Israelis and the Palestinians to make peace, and that all of those things seem somehow connected to me. And so the idea of a lone woman who is taking a sense of personal agency and struggling against this very clear-cut, straightforward, authoritarian dictate that this is the absolute wrong course of action to bury your brother, is the thing that that seems very relevant, seems very contemporary to me. And the backlash that ensues and the tragic fallout that comes from that also seems very much like the things that we would see on the news today. So a lot of the images that we're playing around with in the show are vaguely linked to the Greek history, the classical Skene house with 3 entrances, but it's also very much linked to more industrial buildings, modern day bombings, that kind of thing. So that sort of contemporary connection without hopefully beating anyone over the head with it.